Welcome back to the Dividend Diplomat's YouTube channel. You've got Bert the Herd over here and El Rizzle Landman, and we're here to talk to you about what stocks we purchased this past week.
You know the drill by now, everybody. Smash that subscribe button. Give us that thumbs up. Turn that sucker blue. We are trying our best to close in on 2,500 subscribers, so every subscription, like every dollar, counts today.
We're trying to get to 2,500 subscribers so you can get the power of the Hulkamaniacs, brother.
And that's the bottom line, because the Dividend Diplomats say so.
And that goes out to the thousands and thousands of Dividend Diplomat subscribers. Definitely hit that red button. We can't wait to talk to you and bring you that funny video by the end of the year, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully by the end of the month. That would be insane. So what happened this week? The stock market continues to surprise once again.
Earnings releases were coming out hot and heavy. This probably was one of the most highly anticipated weeks, given that it's another quarter of earnings that companies were able to produce out to you during and after this COVID pandemic, which obviously the second resurgence everybody's predicting is happening right now. So this week was very intense on the stock market.
Yeah, and earnings season drove a lot, but what also drove a lot were the talks about the stimulus bill and what's going to happen here. And the reality is we're getting closer to a deal. We're moving further away from a deal. We're getting closer to a deal. We're moving further away, and now we might be getting closer. The reality is we don't know, and the stock market was just kind of hanging in there accordingly.
But the reality is that we're dividend investors, and we're trying to invest into dividend stocks as we are on our journey to financial freedom by using dividend income to pay for our everyday and monthly expenses.
That is absolutely right, Lanny. So regardless of what the stock market does, we are always on the hunt for those undervalued dividend stocks, and we are always looking to put that capital to work to increase our forward dividend income. And our portfolios and our wife's portfolios did not disappoint this week, as we still found some great companies to continue buying.
So that's why you're here. You want to know what Bert and his wife bought during the week and what me and my wife bought during the week. And we're going to go through each stock or exchange traded fund slash ETF.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, zing. So we'll talk to you about each investment that was made, how much income it produced, how much capital slash cash we used to buy these stock investments, and again, how much dividend income was added to our overall income portfolios.
Perfect. Yeah, and I think we're excited to hear. And as always, in our comment section, let us know your thoughts on the purchases and tell us what companies you bought as well as we go through this.
So pour yourself a nice cup of coffee and maybe your Dividend Diplomat's mug, and we're going to dive into the stocks that we purchased this past week of October 19th.
All right, now that we just got that oddly synchronized sip of coffee out of our way, let's jump right in. Lanny, if you don't mind, can I kick this one off?
Bert, you're damn right you can. Why? Because that's what you wanted.
Yeah, I'll take it. There's one company that I've been adding hand over fist over the last 3 months, and you guys really should not be surprised that my wife and I added to our positions in this company. It's one of our top 5 foundation dividend stocks. It's got one of the highest yields right now of all the dividend aristocrats. And on top of it, it's one of the top wireless communication companies out there. I don't know, is this Workhorse? Is this Tesla? Is it Google? Is it Facebook? Amazon? No, it's none of the above. It's actually AT&T, ticker symbol T. AT&T, why did we buy it? We grabbed them ahead of earnings this week. They released their earnings on Thursday, and leading into earnings, the stock price continued to fall. Regardless of stock price, their metrics with this falling stock price look better and better with it. Their PE ratio continues to trade below 9. Their dividend payout ratio is just over 60%, and they're a dividend aristocrat, and they have that solid 2% average growth rate, along with that nearly 8% yield.
So Bert, how many shares of AT&T stock did you and your wife buy this past week?
Yeah, we each added 5 shares, so in total 10 shares of the company. We picked them up. Yeah, nice. We picked them up right before earnings released, and the stock popped up after that. So we had a perfectly timed purchase.
Nice. What was the overall purchase price you grabbed AT&T stock at?
Oh, that's a great question. We grabbed them in the low 27, high 26 range even, I believe. I'll put the snip up here to confirm that fact, but it was definitely one of the lowest prices I've ever grabbed at AT&T. So we continue to lower our cost basis in that company.
It's funny. I actually had a limit order in for $26.50, and I don't think they quite hit it.
No, they didn't.
On the day that I actually had the limit order. So you son of a gun, Bert.
Yeah, and we continue to build out this position. We're getting some pretty large positions, and we're getting close to this position being full, but their metrics look great. They have a strong dividend. And their earnings after the fact, I was very happy and excited to see the results of the earnings. So it was a great pickup.
So AT&T, one Dividend Aristocrat for you and your wife. You each bought 5 shares. What else were you guys up to this past week?
All right, we actually bought another Dividend Aristocrat. It was one of our larger purchases this week. However, it isn't a company I haven't bought in the last few months. So this is going to be news to all of you and all of our YouTube subscribers. The company, International Business Machines, IBM.
Big blue, baby.
Big blue, big dividend yield, big technology. It's got
big spin-off coming to big, who knows what the new company is going to be.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how that transpires in 2021 as they split that company up and can hopefully grow both of them and also maintain that dividend as you continue to highlight.
So how many shares, Bert, did you and your wife also buy of IBM?
Yeah, so we added 5 shares for my wife's portfolio, 4 to mine. This is a new position for my wife, but it's a recurring position for me, but this one's in my traditional brokerage account, not my Roth IRA like my other position. So it looks new, but it's really not.
So you guys got 9 shares.
Yeah.
What was the purchase price on average that you were investing into IBM?
So we grabbed them first initially when they fell after earnings around 118-ish per share, and then they continued to slide. So we grabbed them when they fell around the 115 or slightly below on the purchase price.
So you're averaging down in your price on the Dividend Aristocrat stock.
Yeah, and we couldn't be happier. I mean, we looked at what drove me was their earnings release and the price that fell after. They missed their revenue, and the market didn't react that well to IBM's continued falling of revenue of what their recurring revenues. However, when I read the earnings release, I still see that they make billions of dollars every quarter. They still have a lot of cash. So yes, some of the optics may not be great from the Wall Street perspective, but from the dividend perspective, I continue to be happy with what IBM is showing me.
So as a kind of a financial education piece, what you always can do is, when you buy an investment and you feel like the sound fundamentals and the value is still there, when you see it go down in price and you're able to kind of average down your price, but still getting at least the same value out of it or the same amount of income, etc., then you could buy more shares at a lower price.
Yeah, and that's what we've been doing a lot of. That's what free trades has unlocked, this ability to make this great. We no longer have to worry about incurring a large trade fee and waiting for that perfect stock price. If we have free trades, we like it at that time, great. The stock continues to fall down, just keep building your position and continue adding shares. That's been the best thing from the free trade wars that started last year, in my opinion.
And IBM, going back to why you bought IBM, how were their price to earnings, payout ratio, and growth rate?
Fantastic question, Lanny. IBM's price to earnings ratio is under 10. It's around 9.5. Their dividend payout ratio is 53%, so it's in that perfect dividend payout ratio range that we love. And they are the newest member of the Dividend Aristocrat family as they increase their dividend for the 25th consecutive year this year.
They had a huge increase, right?
No, but their 5-year average dividend growth rate is just hanging around 6%, so hopefully larger dividend growth is coming in the future after this spinoff.
Bert's going to be hoping and praying. Please.
Yeah, please. IBM, help me.
All right, Bert. So you bought AT&T, IBM, 2 Dividend Aristocrat stocks. What was the other stock purchase you and your wife made during this past week?
Oh, it was the most undervalued dividend stocks according to the Dividend Diplomat. Check that video above, everybody. We just talked about this company. They are in the COVID vaccine race. They are buzzing along.
I think they just got the emergency approval.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They did. Even better, that company is Pfizer, ticker symbol PFE.
The cool thing about Pfizer is they're also, again, as we talked in the last video about Pfizer, is obviously they have their big products. Bert loves the blue pill. You got the Lipitor and other brands and products, and they're working with Mylan and doing a spin-off Upjohn.
Yeah, they're taking their most popular brands, the blue pill, as Lanny likes to bring up, and putting them together and creating that new company. So I guess it's spin-off season here, and we
Yeah.
just continue buying into those great dividend companies that are spinning off their other brands.
So why did you buy Pfizer stock? More shares. How many more shares did you buy?
Yeah, honestly, I only bought one share,
Okay.
and the
That's
reason
cool.
why I bought one is I had some extra cash laying around. One of my dividends doesn't reinvest
Where was
in my
the cash
account.
laying around? It just
Yeah, it was under the mattress. The bank stock that I own that doesn't allow me to drip sent me an envelope of cash and said, "Here's your dividend."
Yeah, so what Bert's saying is he has a stock in his IRA, truthfully, that doesn't allow dividend reinvestment. Just the company doesn't allow
Yeah.
it. So he has to just receive cash in his brokerage.
So I had around $40. So I'm like, you know what? Pfizer, we love their metrics, we love their fundamentals. I picked them up. They were trading a little over 37 at the time, so I grabbed one share. It adds $1.52 to my dividend income, so it was an easy transaction. I don't want to really talk too much about the metrics because we hammer that home in our undervalued video, but I'm happy to add. So in total, all my purchases, when we add in our IBM, we add in our AT&T and the one share of Pfizer, my wife and I added $81 of dividend income this week.
Wow, $81 in forward income was just added.
All right, so that's what I purchased. We added $81, but there are two of us in this video, right? So let's come here. Let's see, Lanny, get on the hot seat.
All
Let's
right,
see
I'm
what
here.
you and your wife purchased here. So let's start. I know you teased exchange traded fund earlier. So do you want to tell us a little bit about that purchase? Why you're investing in this ETF?
I'd love to, Bert. So if you're new to the channel, there was a video, and you can click the link above, where I talked about the strategy of consistently investing into a Vanguard ETF every single week on a Monday, no matter what the market is doing. And the reason why is because with all the uncertainty that we talked about in the beginning of the video in the stock market, I wanted to stay invested and not time the market. Instead, I wanted to be, have more time in the market and have more capital put to use. So it's been harder for a dividend investor to find so many different dividend stocks that are undervalued. So I make sure every Monday that my wife and I each invest into 3 shares of a Vanguard ETF. The Vanguard ETF that we invest into every Monday right now is VYM. It's a high dividend yield ETF. So this Monday was no different. We each on a Monday purchased 3 shares of VYM each, so a total of 6 shares.
Yeah, I love the consistency of this strategy. It's all about getting your funds into income producing assets that will over time grow your dividend and grow and appreciate in value. Because if you look, you can ignore the short-term ups and downs of the stock market. The stock market has trended up for decades. So Lanny, by getting that money into the market, you are setting yourself up for some strong financial success, not just from a market value standpoint, but from a dividend income standpoint too. And that's awesome.
Now, I also, later in the week on my account, not my wife's account, I also acquired 5 more shares of VYM. So I had a total of 8 and she had 3. So in total we had 11 new shares of VYM in our taxable individual stock brokerage account that we acquired from Vanguard.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And what's cool about VYM is we're going to put up here on the screen in a second. If you look at their top 10 holdings, look at the names of the dividend stocks that are on here as well. These are all strong dividend growth stocks as well. So by buying this VYM fund, Lanny is also investing in these strong dividend growth stocks, which matches our investment strategy and just continues building those high quality assets.
And why I chose VYM, they have over a 3.25% dividend yield, around a 7% dividend growth rate. To be honest, there is a price to earnings on the ETF and it is below the market as well. And because I'm an income investor and I want to, be financially independent earlier, the income component matters. We acquired 11 shares, and as I tally this up, the total is roughly around $30 plus an extra dividends going forward.
Fantastic stuff, Lanny. So it makes perfect sense why you picked VYM, the consistency of the strategy. Do you want to tell us about one of the other dividend stocks that you purchased?
But wait, there's more. No, but seriously, again, I love dividend stocks. And again, as I said, it's always hard for me to find undervalued dividend stocks. My portfolio, I have very solid positions in a lot of companies. And for me, I always don't like to overweight myself in one area or the other. But when a stock price does go down by so much where I can, grab a share, grab 2 shares of something just to average down to round out a position, I do that. So not only was Bert busy buying IBM, but I also decided to put a limit order at a price of $113.50 on Big Blue IBM.
It's like he does this to me. He knows the stock price I purchase, and he just has to put a limit order in slightly below my stock price, just as a statement.
I saw Bert on the Diplomat's Twitter account say, "Oh, I just acquired shares of IBM," and I'm like, "I bet you did, but I bet you I'll get you at a price better than you."
Yeah, but in the end, it's more of a, he just does it to piss me off in the short term, but in the long run, we both invested in IBM. I get over it eventually.
Yeah, so I bought 1 share in my own account for IBM at $113.50. I have a pretty sizable position in IBM, but it was a way for me to just slightly average down my position, since I think it was this time was it last year or 2? I think it was 2 years ago when I got them below 120, quite a few shares.
Yeah, it was right around their acquisition of Red Hat. That's when you grabbed them last. And I didn't purchase them at that time, and I was really kicking myself for not acquiring them.
Now they're back in that price.
Yeah, so I'm happy now. I'm very happy now.
He's so happy now.
The happiest person ever.
Look at this guy.
His smile here.
He's got it.
Yeah, I trimmed my beard for this video. I did
grow the beard back out slightly, and I did trim before this video. Compliments of Gillette, Procter & Gamble.
Yeah. All right. So we've already talked about why IBM is an undervalued dividend stock. So we're just going to go right past that. Lanny invested for the same reasons I did. So let's talk about this third purchase that you made here, Lanny.
Again, this is not a big purchase because we bought so much. I say so much, but we bought VYM. But we did buy 1 more share of a company in my wife's account. It's on the corner of happy and healthy, and hopefully a corner in your dividend portfolio, and that is Walgreens Boots Alliance, ticker symbol WBA. We bought 1 share for my wife, and she's, she likes going there, to do little odds and end errands, and kind of in the pharmacy arena. And I'm curious what they'll do, to still compete with CVS, and CVS having Aetna. But we were able to buy 1 more share at a limit order of $37.25, adding $1.87 in dividends.
That's fantastic. What I'm excited to see with Walgreens, too, in particular, is you're starting to see news of, with this vaccine coming out eventually, all of these vaccinations, all of these flu shots, everything that's going to come with this has to be distributed to consumers eventually. So CVS and Walgreens have the infrastructure to help distribute whatever is made available to people. So I would imagine with that, they're going to benefit from any cure. Obviously, getting that vaccine is the most important thing, regardless of who distributes it, what company, and where.
And, Walgreens is also a dividend aristocrat. Kind of keeping with that theme, IBM and, the one that I bought, and, Walgreens is a dividend aristocrat. So, most of my purchases, you'll realize, are in that aristocrat arena.
Yeah, same here. We kind of stop messing around with it, to be honest with you. At least that's how I feel about it, is we just want to really continue focusing on these high quality dividend stocks, because we've been burned with some of the dividend cuts earlier in the year, and you look through it and you say maybe they didn't have the strongest dividend growth history. So now we take that very much into consideration buying our stocks going forward.
Yeah, I just play Usher, and I'm gonna let it burn.
All right, Lanny, so we've now talked through all of your purchases. You brought in a nice little Usher reference for us here. So why don't you give us a quick summary? How much dividend income did you add from your purchases of VYM, Walgreens, and IBM?
Sure. No, I invested a little over $1,000, as you'll see in the shot on the screen, but added $38.58 in forward income. Nothing too significant. Didn't match up to what Bert's total is. But it's nice just to see a growing dividend income stream.
But that doesn't matter. You don't need to match income for income with what I added this morning. It's not about that. It's about adding quality dividend stocks and quality dividend income. We keep coming back to that. My purchases of lately have been on the higher dividend yield side, but that's just the way the numbers fell for me. And I still like the companies, whether they're yielding 5%, 8%, or yielding 3%.
In fact, go check out our Dividend Diplomats portfolio, because we update that almost on a weekly basis out on our blog. And you'll see, Bert and his wife's portfolio on there. Right now, I only show mine. I know my wife she doesn't want me to showcase it all yet from her side. But you'll see every single dividend stock that we own and how much income our portfolio stands to generate on a go-forward annual basis.
And so let us know in the comment section what you think of the stocks you purchased, and also tell us what stocks you're buying too. We want to hear what dividend stocks are on your radar. If there aren't dividend stocks, let us know what other companies you're buying, just so we can hear. We like to see what people are buying so we can learn more about the stock market too.
Again, this is all about the journey to financial independence, financial freedom, and whatever other journey that you may be on. We're here to help you and show you exactly what we're doing. We don't like to just talk about stocks, what's happening in the market. We're trying to bring action and showing you our actionable events so that, essentially, we're not just talking, we actually are doing something.
Yeah, we believe that the full transparency is helpful. It helped us as we started our journeys, looking at other bloggers and other YouTubers, seeing what they were doing. It motivated us, so we're hoping that helps motivate you too.
Again, subscribe to our channel. If you like the video, give us a thumbs up. This is Bert and me from the Dividend Diplomats.
Over and out.